morning. You're watching the breaking news show right here on CNN News 18. My name is Toya Singh. It is a Tuesday morning. Thank you for choosing to start your day with us right here on the channel. Now, as you might already know, the Prime Minister is on his way to the United States for a 4-day state visit. It's an official state visit, and the Prime Minister has issued a statement to the Wall Street Journal right before. That's the first story we're taking you to. It's breaking. In that statement to the WSJ, he said that ties between New Delhi and Washington are stronger and deeper than ever as India moves to secure what he sees as its rightful place on the world stage at a moment of geopolitical turmoil. This is all phrasing from the interview itself. He's also said there is unprecedented trust between the leaders of the US and India. Now, Modi made all of these statements in this same interview. He's also hailed the growing defense cooperation between the two countries as an important pillar of our partnership, which he says extends to trade, technology and energy. Now, my colleague Pallavi is with us live this morning to bring us more context. Pallavi, looking at not just what the Prime Minister has said, but the tone, the manner in which he's chosen to convey it, can you tell us, A, what should our readers interpret from the Prime Minister's statements themselves, and B, from the tonnage, from the phrasing, how can we interpret India as standing? Is India approaching this confidently?
Well, absolutely, Toya, but I'm just going to go and focus on the last line, one of the main lines, I would say, of the interview where he said, I present my country as it is and myself as I am, which means I think the very strong messaging he's trying to send out is that there's going to be no compromise as far as India is concerned and on very important stands. And what are India's stands? They are very much elicited as far as an interview goes. That, India is not neutral. India stands for peace. It also has to respect the laws, the international barriers, the international laws and the controls will also have to be respected. That's one of the main points which is there in the interview. And this becomes very, very important, Toya, in the context of his trip abroad, because there are contentious issues like Pakistan and China, which possibly India would obliquely refer to. In fact, in that interview, he does talk about China. He talks about the fact that there needs to be talking it out. We need to convey to China that our borders, our barriers, all of them have to be respected. So I think that's a very strong message he's giving to the world. He's also giving to America also, that America also has to understand that for what matters to India and to him as a Prime Minister, and he refers to himself as the first Prime Minister of independent India. So he talks about the fact he was born in India after India got independence. So he makes a reference to the fact is that there's a no compromise as far as our foreign policy is concerned. And there's nothing wrong. There's no need to be apologetic if we are going to present our case very strongly to the world. So I think it is a hard selling of India. And also the point is that, we are not in competition. We want our rightful place. So there are a couple of messaging. Atmanirbharta, self-reliance, which is he talking about, India's independent foreign policy. And also the countries of the world will have to respect and acknowledge India's position, and also give India its due and accept our country the way it is without commenting on us all the time or being judgmental about India.
Okay. Pallavi, I just want to understand from you, as we're telling our audiences, all right, Pallavi, if you could just stay with us. Aman Sharma is also with us right now to bring us more context on not just the interview, but what our takeaways from it should be. Aman, thank you for joining us. Aman, 2 questions. A, what would you list should be the key takeaways for the audience from that interview? But B, can you also lay out for us what are the key agenda points for India on this trip?
See, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in US, obviously many bilateral issues, many global issues are going to come up in the discussions where the PM Modi will have with Joe Biden as well as the India-US delegations. An important issue in that will be China. An obvious issue will be Pakistan. Obvious issue will be terrorism, cross-border terrorism. Another issue will be India's rightful place on the global table. In a way, Prime Minister's, interview to the Wall Street Journal puts all those issues in perspective. The most important time, as Pallavi also said earlier, that his line to the Wall Street Journal, that I present my country to the world as my country is and myself as I am. So India is not portraying itself to somebody else. India is portraying as it is. PM has tried to put to rest all these allegations of intolerance in India. The narrative which has gone around that minorities maybe are not being treated fairly, where he has said that people of every faith in the world are living in harmony in India. There is no problem. And, also on the point of China, he has said that for normal bilateral ties with China, peace and tranquility in the border areas is essential. Now, this is a line that India has been consistently taking over the last 3 years since the Galwan clash happened, and there have been tensions on the LAC. The PM clearly putting out that it is through dialogue and de-escalation and by ensuring peace and tranquility that normal relations with China can be restored. He also has said that India has a core belief in respecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of every country, but at the same time, India is fully prepared and committed to protect its own sovereignty and dignity. This also comes in the strong response that India had given to China on various occasions the last 3 years when our borders sovereignty was challenged by China.
Okay.
So in a way, PM answering those critics as well. Also, he's saying that some people say that we are neutral, but we are not neutral. We are on the side of peace. So PM clearly saying that the world has full confidence that India's topmost priority is peace. This, I think, comes in the context of the Russia-Ukraine war, where India has been, sometimes castigized for not taking a stand either way, and India has maintained a very, a very fine line on this issue. He also says that PM Modi has earlier said that this is not a time for war on various global forums, and India has tried to play the peacemaker here between Russia and Ukraine. I think this statement by the PM to the Wall Street Journal that India will do whatever it can and supports all genuine efforts to bring an end to the conflict and ensure enduring peace and stability. And this also comes, I think, in context of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which is going on, which is quite important. And also this line, where he's saying that I am India's first Prime Minister to be born in free India.
Right.
So in a way, he says that that's why my thought process and conduct is influenced by my country's attributions and traditions, and I derive from my strength from it.
Okay, Aman, I'm actually going to